So yesterday, Google announced the Google Home, or Google Home. I guess I don't know if that's the Google Home. It's not a home. It's a voice
No, it's
controlled
Google Home.
Google Home. They have just the weirdest naming over there. Anyway, it's a voice controlled device for your home that's designed to answer questions, stream music, and more. So you are a home tech expert, Lindsay. CNET has its own smart home, testing all these things. What are your first thoughts about Google Home?
Well, my first thoughts are that it's poised to do very well. And there are two major reasons for that. I mean, one is that, and we've been kind of talking about this the whole show, right? Google is all about data and what it can do with data. So this is true when it comes to self-driving cars. This is true when it comes to the cloud-based services that it provides for in-school computers. And this is really true when it comes to any sort of AI for your home. And when you think about this product as a direct competitor to Amazon Echo, it makes a ton of sense that Google might be able to step in where Echo has been trailblazing and really actually just kind of kicking ass and taking names all over the place. But to come in with a really robust AI backend and make it easier to ask really organic questions and answer those questions over a home-based system. And then also tie into the entire Nest ecosystem. And as we know, Google owns Nest. Nest has been struggling a little bit to make its way within the Google ecosystem, but this might be the first indicator that they're finally finding a good way to marry all of Google's many strengths with the great home empire that Nest has built.
So in the CNET smart home, how does the Amazon Echo work? What does it control in the smart home, the CNET smart home?
So what we have found about Echo in the smart home is that it is by far the best smart home hub. And, this gets a little bit nerdy, but this show's, a little bit nerdy, so I can get nerdy. Right now, in order to make a smart home really integrated, to have lots of different devices in a home working together, you usually have to invest in some sort of hub. You can't just go out and buy the devices and expect that they'll all talk to each other. There are a number of different hubs out there on the market. Most of them have just kind of tried to sell themselves, like Samsung SmartThings, as a hub, and that's it. Amazon came at the Echo that right out when it first came onto the market was really just a Bluetooth speaker that had some AI and could answer some questions, but then opened it up in such a way that smart home developers could all experiment with trying different integrations, and Amazon Echo has become kind of the best de facto smart home hub because it works with the most products and it's voice activated. And we found that voice is the best and most sophisticated way to control a smart home because it allows for lots of different people to interact without having to set up separate apps and profiles on different devices, right? Like you're never going to have your 4-year-old own their own smartphone from which they control the light bulbs. But you can teach a 4-year-old to say, and apologies to anybody with this in their house, but to say, Alexa, turn on the lights. And that's something that a 4-year-old can use very easily. And without having to set up a lot of different profiles, it actually just sort of naturally works with different people in the home. And so it makes a ton of sense.
And so I think, there are various things that are making Google Home more interesting. I think I read that it will work. You can have many of them and they'll work together. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. So that's something that Amazon and the Echo products don't do very well right now. You can't really network them together, but the Google products, they say, will be able to do this. Now, it's important to note that nobody has actually touched one of these devices. There wasn't even, we looked everywhere at I/O for this product that you're seeing in video right now. It looks like a little urn or, and a Bluetooth speaker. The Google Home product was not available for testing or even taking pictures of outside of the demo that Google did on stage at I/O. So nobody has actually played with this yet, but Google is saying that this will be the case, that they will work, multiple of these products will work together within the home and that they will be out this fall.
And so we're watching the video too. It has the Chromecast. I mean, it will work with that too, which is nice. I mean, there's nothing. Have you been able to use the Amazon Echo to control TV in any way?
So far, we haven't used Echo to control TV. There doesn't seem to be a bunch of integration for that. Although lots of people use like IFT channels to set up all kinds of interesting integrations. There's sort of, if you're a real smart home enthusiast and you don't mind hacking around, you can figure out a way to get Echo to control almost anything. But for most sort of normals, There isn't a lot of TV integration. We do use it a lot for lighting. You can use it for temperature control in lots of different situations. We use it to do things like control garage doors, smart fans, a lot of physical aspects of the home.
So the one drawback I'm hearing a lot of rumbling is just, people who are reticent to have a device from Google that's listening to them all the time in their home. What do you say to that?
I say, do you have an Android phone? Because if you do, you already have that device.
And I mean, if you're searching Google, you're already giving a lot of information. If you're using Gmail, you're giving a lot of information, but not in your home necessarily, not what you're talking about.
Not necessarily, but any modern smartphone is probably already doing a lot of this, right? I mean, Siri does this. All you have to do is say, "Hey Siri," and it's listening to you. So that exists. It's part of how, if you want to participate in a modern voice controlled ecosystem, then that's your reality.
And so what do you think about price? I mean, they said nothing about price. I am wondering, I'm really curious. Do you think people will be willing to pay more for this device because of what we talked about and because, you might be able to hook it up to your Gmail, your calendar, your Chromecast? Do you think that they're going to try to go under a lower price point than the Amazon Echo in order to sell them?
I'm just guessing, but I guess that they will go 1-to-1. Mm-hmm. I suspect that they will price it the same way as Echo, and they may have a couple of bonuses that try to convince you to choose this product rather than one of the Echo products. The thing that's interesting to me is that there are now 3 Amazon products that integrate Alexa for the home. So there are 3 different models. I don't think that Google's going to come out with 3 different models at 3 different price points in the fall. I'm guessing that they'll just come out straight with a 180 or really close.
Yeah,
price product.
Because I have the Alexa or the Echo and the Dot, and it's very frustrating that they don't work together, and I have to give them different names, different wake words, because otherwise they'd be setting each other off and they wouldn't be simultaneous. But the other thing I've heard about the Google Home is the speaker is better than the original speaker in the Echo, which I think that's why I have the Dot. It just hooks up to my Bluetooth speakers and then it sounds great. I think it'll be interesting because I think the other thing that Amazon did is the price really changed. I think that I only paid $100 for it when I bought it in January of 2015.
Demand went way up.
Yeah, and then and it's just very interesting the way they're making money because, if you weren't already a Prime subscriber paying $100 a year, you only could get it if you were a Prime subscriber. So, they automatically know that people, once you have that and that's your hub, as it were, like you're probably going to continue to pay them $100 a year for the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazon pricing is always sort of interesting. Amazon's all about volume, all about pricing, but also about continuing to make money off of Amazon services, right? So Amazon really wants you to be continuing to pay that money for Prime, ordering paper towels through Alexa verbally, which I have done, by the way. It's actually, it's pretty easy to be like, buy this thing right now. Google doesn't have the same motivations. Google wants you to use its services. And so they need to make enough money to offset the cost of developing the product, but they're not going to be under the same pressure to make money off of the sale of the product, I believe, which will be interesting. I don't know. I mean, we have no way of knowing whether that speaker will actually be any better. Based on what I've seen of Alexa and Echo and the full tower, that 180 tower, it's not going to be, and this may sound blasphemous, but it's not going to be that hard to make a speaker that sounds better. Because it's just not great, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is. I presumably, I don't know this for sure, but presumably I give Google $100 worth of my personal information at least every year, and probably will for the rest of my life.
More. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Lindsay, is there anything else that you're working on, or that CNET's working on that we should know about?
Well, you guys should know about some of the great reporting we had out of Google I/O. We actually had a lot of really exclusive and wonderful content, including an interview with Sundar Pichai. So come to CNET right now and check it out because it's some pretty great looking stuff.